Hi, I'm Jason from StrataGames. Today we're playing some more Pauper. This is a deck that I played last year after we got Outlaws of Thunder Junction, a Raven of Fell Omens deck. The idea is to target your opponent committing a crime, pinging them for one over and over and over. The best ways to do that is with Raven's Crime, very fittingly, but also Relic of Progenitus, which can target them every single turn, and we can drain them for 1 or 2 or 3, depending on how many Ravens we have. The deck wasn't amazing, but it did alright, but I think Black Mage's Rod can be a really big boon for this deck, adding just a ton of extra damage. To be honest, a better version of Raven of Fell Omens, because it's not only once each turn. So if we Raven's Crime them 4 times at a turn, we will actually get 4 pings instead of just 1, but Raven does have the added bonus of having flying and gaining you life, which can be important. Other than that, we're kind of a Gardens style deck with a lot of removal, cast down, a snuff out, spitting darkness, extract confession, and a crypt rats, and a lot of card draw, Ichor Wellspring, Fanatical Offering, and Eviscerator's Insight. I also took a little bit from a Knights deck that I saw that was kind of a similar list. Smitten Swordmaster is basically just a sorcery that we can cast, which will trigger our Black Mage's Rod, although not our Raven because it doesn't actually target. But it's also just a creature that we can play. If we can wipe away their creatures, we can beat down with it. Also, we can sacrifice it to our various effects. So even though it's not going to gain us a ton of life, just the fact that it is a sorcery to trigger the Black Mage's Rod and also a creature, I think might be okay. We have 4 Trolls, a bunch of Swamps, a Witch's Cottage. We have our Colony Gardens, 1 of Haunted Mire, a couple Golgari Rot Farms, and Bojuka Bogs. That's 22 sources for lands, and the Rot Farms also pick up an extra land because we want a lot of lands for our Raven's Crimes, so they're able to take upwards of 3 or 4 cards from their hand on a given turn. In our sideboard, we have Okiba Gang Shinobi. People don't really see that coming. It's a little extra discard, and can just be pretty powerful. Arms of Hadar as some board wipes, Weather the Storm, a Heritage Reclamation, some Masked Vandals, a Relic of Progenitus, the 4th one in case we are against a graveyard deck, and also some Campfire. Let's take this for a spin and see how it does a year later with Black Mage's Rod. This hand has a little bit of everything we want. Removal, hand disruption, card draw, and finisher, I guess. And also nice spread of lands. Opponent mulligans to 5, so that's going to be rough for them. They are on red something. Another Black Mage's Rod isn't bad, although if they're red, we're not going to be caring too much about dealing them damage in the early turns. Sazakep's Brew, which is just another discard and draw 2. But you can gift a tap fish to get +2/+0. It's also instant speed, and it's target player draws 2. So interesting stuff. We got another Black Mage's Rod. With them only on 5 cards, I guess it actually probably does make sense to play these, because I play one now, next turn I play another and hit him with a Raven's Crime, and then the following turn, assuming we hit our lands, I hit him with another, and then like a Wellspring, I'm just pinging for 3 apiece. That seems pretty good. They're going to play a Flame Breather and swing. I might need to actually just cast down the Flame Breather, though. Or I could play a Raven. We actually gain some life off of that, and I can block a Snacker. And then we cast down... Problem is, I don't know if they have a Fiery Temper. If they're snackers, so they probably do have tempers and stuff. So I don't really want to, when they have mana open, do that. So I think we're just casting down a Flame Breather, and for that reason, I guess I'm not even Raven's Criming them right now. I want to wait until I gain a little bit more damage or life with it anyway. They have a Gutter Snipe. Maybe it was premature on the cast down. They only have 2 cards left in hand though. Relic of Progenitus can start gaining us life with the Raven. Yeah, for that reason, I think we'll just play the Relic. Life gain is important, so play the Raven and then target them with the Relic to ping them immediately. And I'll also attack with the Hero. They're never blocking this, and I don't mind chumping their Gutter Snipe on the way back with the Plant. We are in a bit of a race situation here, since they have fewer cards. We might actually be able to beat them. Depends on how good these 3 cards are, though. They swing with the Snacker, knowing I have a Relic, but I don't have the mana to pop it right now, so I guess we'll actually just take the Snacker. I don't want to trade and then buy it back right away. They play a Mountain and pass, though. That's pretty big for us. Spitting Darkness is good. I'm going to hit him with the Relic, ping him for 1. Actually don't have the cards in the graveyard for the Spitting Darkness. I'm going to play a Rod, ping him for another 1, attack for 3. And I could Raven's Crime, but I actually think... Well, Raven's Crime pings him for 3. No, because I already used the Relic. I should have waited on the Relic if I was going to use the Raven's Crime this turn. I think I'll just pass, leave up the Relic crack if we need it. But feeling in a decent spot here. They do have a Highway Robbery, so that's not going to help, though. They discard a Snacker, so we're going to crack the Relic. Well, then again, Relic does ping for 1. We do lose a card from our Spitting Darkness. This is tapped. If I just play a couple spells next turn, I could probably just end them. I guess it's actually fine. I think we'll just leave it. Then they got to grab the prize with another snacker. This one obviously doesn't come back because they've already drawn enough cards. We do go to 10 here, though. I guess if they get a Fire Blast, they could pull this out for sure. Lava Dart the hero. So that puts us to 8. They can attack for 4. Yeah. Lava Dart the other hero. Okay. And yeah, I mean, if they have Fire Blast, they win here, but it looks like they probably don't. But they can put us to 2, and we lost both our wizards, so it's pretty tough to come back from this now. I guess I actually need to draw something. We already have ways to target, so I guess I will actually crack the relic now. Yeah, that did not go quite how I wanted. Another Black Mage's Rod and a Swamp. I could play both of those, but that doesn't really matter. I can play Raven's Crime, pings for 1. We don't have, unfortunately, I wish these would go to the graveyard so that we could actually use the Spinning Darkness, because if we could cast Spinning Darkness here, I think we could win this. But without it, it's pretty tough. Guess we play a Rod, and then crime them, make them discard a card, gain a life, and I guess we just have to pass. If they have nothing to cast, we can survive, but otherwise we're dead. And they got the bolts. Yeah, that Lava Dart was brutal. We were in a decent spot up until then. We do get Campfires and Weathers. Here to snuff out. Couple crimes. Relics are good. Swordmaster's a lifelinker, but it does die to a dart, which is pretty annoying. Take out the extract. We got a little bit of everything. This one does not look great to me. This one's marginally better, I suppose. Just because we have cast downs to interrupt their stuff. I don't really want a Raven's Crime that. Maybe I should have just taken these out because they have snackers and stuff. I certainly don't want to use them this early. Weather the Storm. We'll just play a Wellspring. Troll can find a green source is good. Have a Flame Breather. If this finds a green source, then I can't actually have an untapped land here, and I would like to kill this before it deals us any damage, so I'm just going to hope we'll draw a green source off our Fanatical. I have a Gutter Snipe. I can kill that too. Nice, we get a Swamp, so I can actually just do this first, see what we're working with. Another cast down's not bad, and some lands, including our green source. Kill the Gutter Snipe. Another Gutter Snipe. They're not going to be too happy with our cast down, I don't think. Get rid of that Gutter Snipe. I assume we'll get bolted in response. Now they just have to dart for the hero. Annoying. Rot Farm, pick up a Swamp. Now we could triple Raven's Crime them next turn if we want. We have a Flame Breather. I mean, triple Raven's Crime into a Weather the Storm's pretty good. Smash to Smithereens the Rod's annoying, but that's fine. Colony Garden. Yeah, I think we take their last cards. Raven's Crime. Discard a Temper, but they don't have the mana for it. Crime again. And I can crime once more just to add to my Weather the Storm. So I might as well. Discard a land to gain 3 life there. Weather's pretty good with Raven's Crime. We'll pass here. We do need to draw something, but we have a while to do it. Raven is decent. Play a Raven. Map onto it. Ichor Wellspring, we'll leave that on top. And what's something they would keep in their hand? A Bolt or something, which I don't want them to use, but to be honest, they could also have, like, grab the prize, and we could get them before they can use it, so I think we're just gonna Raven's Crime them again, ping them for 1, and hope it's like a grab the prize. And it was! Nice. Very nice for us. We have a Wellspring on top, which opens up our Fanatical Offerings and things to be drawn. They're gonna swing. I guess it's kind of bad. They know we have no tricks, so I could block, but they could have like a Lava Dart and double Lava Dart it. I guess they could triple Lava Dart it already, but that's fine if they want to sack extra lands. Don't really want that to happen, so let's play a Wellspring. Colony Garden, that could be... I can make them discard again, which also drains them for 1, so I don't really see a reason not to. I don't really need another land. I guess if I start drawing cards, it'd be good, but maybe they have another grab the prize, who knows. They got a Searing Blaze, which without a land drop, so that's going to keep our Raven alive. Pretty nice. That's good. If they did draw a land, they would be able to kill our Raven. Swing for 1. We get a Relic, which is not bad at all, because that can start gaining us life with the Raven. Also interrupts sneaky snackers and things. So we'll swing for 2. Don't see a reason to pop the Relic right now. We would force them to use a Lava Dart, but we'd also lose our own Raven's Crime, so I think we're fine. They have a Highway Robbery. I discard a Snacker. Okay, I do think I want to keep that away. So we're going to Relic. They're not close enough to dead that I want to keep the Relic for the Raven that badly. They do cast the Lava Dart. And it's unfortunate we lose our Raven's Crime, but I don't want this Snacker coming back, I don't think. And we could definitely use a new card. Although Swamp isn't what we need. Definitely want some card draw here. They plot another robbery. Wellspring is something. Mire. So we play that. Fanatical or Eviscerator's Insight might be even better. Off the top would be great. Cast the robbery into a Snacker and a Faithless Looting. Pitch double Mountain. Swing for 1. We just get a Rot Farm. We'll swing for 2, but kind of need to draw something other than lands. Pull back a Swamp. Down to 14. We get that Sword Master, who doesn't ping for anything, but I guess it's a 2/1 with lifelink, so we'll cast it. They have the Lava Dart for it. We're down to 10. They Lava Dart us and have a Fire Blast. Puts us to 3, and they have a Smash to Smithereens. Well, if we had just not drawn like 4 lands in a row, there was the offering we needed for forever. Although, and we would have gotten a Weather, which is better than nothing, but man, just drawing like terribly. All right, let's try this again. Hand looks reasonable. Preordain, so it could be High Tide. Should be tough. I think I just want to make sure I hit my land drops, my untapped land drops, so I'm going to just start with the Witch's Cottage, just in case I don't get another Swamp. Snow-covered Island. Haunted Mire. Well, let's play our Wellspring. Maybe we should just play a Raven there, but Brainstorm in response. Brainstorm Preordain, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's High Tide, so I guess Raven would be the better call, but unless I find my discard, I'm never going to beat High Tide, because I can't outspeed them. They cycle Alorian, yep. Yeah, I can't outrace them, but I could potentially just make them discard enough to get away with it, but we'll see. They pulled this island, but played a different one. Pieces of the puzzle. Ideas, Reach Through Mist, Psychic Puppetry. Yeah, this one's going to be tough. Ideas Unbound and Psychic Puppetry, which I accidentally put away. There's the Raven's Crime. I mean, I have to hit land drops is the problem. I could make them lose 2 right now. 2 cards. It could matter. We'll go for it. Peer Through Depths, and might as well just discard the Swamp since we don't have anything else to play. So we'll play the Haunted Mire. Discard their island, and we'll pass. They Preordain. I mean, losing that island and Peer Through Depths could be decent. They Merchant Scroll. Do a High Tide. No land drop, though, and we draw a Colony Garden. So I have to Fanatical Offering, but if I can hit, like, another 2 lands, 2 swamps, so I can play 1 and then hit them with 2, that'd be pretty good. We hit 2 lands, but none of them are untapped, so we got to play this Bojuka Bog, which is probably irrelevant, but we can Raven's Crime them once, discarding a Colony Garden. They discard a Pieces of the Puzzle, that's relevant, and we'll Bojuka Bog them. I mean, I think we're right there. We know they have a Psychic Puppetry, Ideas Unbound, and High Tide, so if they go for it, they're in a good spot, and they draw an island. But they do kind of have to hit on the Ideas Unbound. Oh, they Peer Through Depths first, so they have an Ideas, and they reveal a High Tide. And they High Tide. Now they Ideas with 1 Puppetry. Merchant Scroll. Do a Psychic Puppetry. Cast an Ideas. Brainstorm. They cast Alorian Revealed, and they peter out. We actually are able to get there. Raven's Crime doing work. We made them discard an island early that they didn't want to because they were kept they discarded a Peer Through Depths first. And so Raven's Crime actually doing work. We ended up not putting Duresses in our sideboard, which I had originally had because I figured Raven's Crime was enough. But I gotta tell you, this is looking rough. I guess Campfire, if we get it down, we can just activate to not mill. Maybe they have enough they can keep going if they Stream of Thought us for 1 million. But maybe they don't. I don't know. Worth bringing in, I think. And then Okiba Gang Shinobi can do some stuff. And also, obviously, this removal is not necessary. For that reason, Relic isn't amazing, nor is Heritage Reclamation, but they're better than Cast Downs. Unless they bring in a Murmuring Mystic, but that doesn't seem great. I guess Cast Down's better than Extract, though. But I guess I'm just going to assume they don't, and I might as well get Masked Vandals, which are at least attackers, and can Okiba Gang things. But really, we're looking for a Raven's Crime again. That was key. Like, I would keep 6 lands in a Raven's Crime. This hand looks decently aggressive. I don't know if it's really going to be enough to get there, but I kind of want to give it a try. Campfire can also maybe help. We'll see. Witch's Cottage. I think we'll just play the Witch's Cottage and pass. I'd rather be able to play Swordmaster on 2 and then Smitten Swordmaster the next one with a Curry Favor the following turn. So let's do that. Another Raven. Yeah, without a unless their hand is trash, without a Raven's Crime, this one's just feeling rough. They're just playing islands for now, but we'll see. Curry Favor into a Swordmaster. They're also not under a lot of pressure, so they really don't have to go for it soon. And they started tapping as if they were going to and then just decided against it. But I'll swing for 4. I think because they probably could go for it this next turn, I think I will play this Campfire and leave up the 2 mana. We'll play a Relic 2 since we just have the 1. And if they go for it, then, I don't know, maybe Campfire can keep us alive. They Brainstorm on the end step. They do still have, like, 2 or 3 more turns, 3 more turns probably, but it's not the most time. They can't do nothing for 7 turns, but not a great clock, I will say. A Merchant Scroll. Get a Puppetry and they're passing. Rot Farm. Attack for 4. Hit them with the Raven. And Rot Farm bounce the Cottage. Guess we'll hit them with the Relic as well. Raven them down. And we'll pass. I mean, there's a possibility that we could win on our next turn. We're attacking for 5. Relic can be 6. Raven can make it 7. So, yeah, they kind of have to go for it here. But they've had plenty of turns to set up. If they can't do it here, they were probably never doing it. Cycle Muddle the Mixture after Hidden Strings. Another Puppetry. Peer Through Depths with 2 Puppetries. For an Ideas Unbound. Ideas. Stream of Thought. Mini one. Mill themselves and put a couple more cards back into their deck. They also mill the Deep Analysis, which is pretty nice. Reach Through Mists, and they disrupt it to draw a card. Interesting. Peer Through Depths. Another Peer Through Depths. Brainstorm. Ideas Unbound. Another Ideas. And another. High Tide. High Tide. I'm just not sure how they win through a Campfire, because if they mill me out and go to pass, I can just Campfire on my end step. So we'll see if they get there, and we'll see what happens. Oh, I guess they can just try to tap my Campfire before I actually use it. That would be the play. Before they've milled anything, they can do that with like a Puppetry. Yeah, that seems like it'll work, as long as they haven't fizzled, which it's not looking like they're going to. They just were about to tap out for a Stream of Thought, and they remembered to Campfire, or tap down the Campfire, which I could use now but doesn't do anything, and then they can stream me, so I'm pretty much dead. Alright, and they got me with the Stream of Thought. Message received. Campfire is not actually reasonable or helpful in any way. I guess we'll just put in a couple more creatures. And also, message received, we kind of need some actual interaction. Like, this hand has some stuff, but it doesn't have... And it has a lot of lands, if we can actually find a Raven's Crime. But without it, it just feels like it's never going to work. We can't mulligan to Oblivion, so I guess we'll keep this one. Get rid of the Vandal, play a Swamp and pass. Cycle Troll. Kiba Gang could be pretty good, actually. Let's play our Smitten Swordmaster. That's something. I cycle Alorian. We can hit him with that on turn 4. We do draw our Raven's Crime as well, so I can use that now once. Well, let's attack for 2. Raven's Crime them. Play a Rot Farm, bounce a Swamp, and I can do it again, and I still have 4 mana to Okiba them next turn. Okay, this could be good. Get rid of Hidden Strings and Ideas Unbound. Not nothing. I mean, if they can go for it this turn, then we can't do much about it, but if they can't, we can take away 2 cards next turn. Cycle a Muddle the Mixture, or a Puppetry. Haunted Mire can be another Raven's Crime next turn, but we're gonna take away 2 of their cards here. Alright. I mean, they got 3 cards, 4 on their turn. That's going to be pretty tough to combo off with. Get rid of a Peer and a Lorien revealed. But they're going to go for it, because they know they're going to lose more cards with the Okiba next turn. So ideally, we've taken away enough cards from them that it'll be too tough, but we'll see. Start with an Ideas Unbound. Find a Merchant Scroll or a High Tide. Peer Through Depths with a Puppetry for an Ideas Unbound. Pretty lucky. Ideas Unbound with the Puppetry. And we got there. Able to take 4 cards from them was enough. All right, this hand looks weird and potentially bad, but kind of cool. Definitely representative of the deck. Elves is going to be a tough one. I might as well just kick things off with a Raven's Crime, though. Make him discard something. Get rid of a Generous Ent. Play a Tinder Wall. Oh, it's actually walls. Okay. Gingerbread Cabin. Okay. Got this Raven's Crime. I could just Raven's Crime them once. I think we need to draw a card. Like, I kind of want to get down Black Mage's Rod, but again, it's another combo deck, which means we need to just take away as many cards as possible as quickly as possible, so we need to draw cards to do that. Haunted Mire's not bad. Of course, we need to also hit our land drops, so we definitely need to play some more stuff. Overgrown Battlement is decent for them. Swing for 1. We get a Troll. I mean, Troll, I can cycle that for a Swamp, play that, and I have 2 mana. I can Raven's Crime and Haunted Mire, so I can take him down to 1 card. I think I'm going to do that. Play that Raven's Crime. Of course, they can bounce a forest if they really want with Aquarian Ranger, but at least that gets rid of a land from the battlefield. Crashing Drawbridge, and we'll Raven's Crime them again. They get rid of a Drift of Phantasms. Play an Axebane Guardian, and swing for 1. Alright, get a Conley Garden, so we could Raven's Crime right now. Might as well draw, because they only have 1 card, but they might just discard a forest instead. But let's give it a try, see if they do that or not. They don't. Okay. That's pretty good for us. So I can still Insight, or I could just get down a Black Mage's Rod. We still need to find a removal, because if they have this on the battlefield, they could still just win out of nowhere. Let's draw some cards. Rot Farm's pretty good, and Cast Down's very good. So let's play Rot Farm, pick up a Swamp, and pass. Next turn we get to Rod, Cast Down, and if they have a card in hand, we can Raven's Crime it away. They have a Scholar of Athreos. Well, that's something. They can just activate it a couple of times. I mean, they can ping us for 3 with it. That's pretty good. Alright, so I think we're actually playing a Raven, because it gains us life. It also blocks better. Conley Garden. So yeah, let me play a Raven, and then a Cast Down on the Axebane Guardian. So as long as that's gone, they can't actually make black mana, so this is not as worrying. And in fact, they can't make any non-green or red mana, so if they get something stuck in their hand, we can also Raven's Crime it away. They're passing to us. Spinning Darkness is not bad either. Right now, I don't really want to use it because it'll eat our Raven's Crime and our Eviscerator's Insight, but we'll play a Black Mage's Rod, play a Raven, and we will Raven's Crime them, discarding this Garden. Hang them for 3. Really going to add up now. Discard a Reaping the Graves. Fantastic. We'll attack for 1 and pass. And I do have the Spinning Darkness as an emergency lever if I really need to. They have a land grant, that's fine. But obviously, I guess we have a second Raven's Crime in our graveyard, so it's actually not a big deal if we lose one of them. But I don't want to lose that Eviscerator's Insight till we've used it. Cast Down's really good. Now we're just in a great spot. No reason to cast anything, I don't think. Not yet. They have a Lead the Stampede, that's pretty good. Leaf Caller, Battlement, and a Generous Ent. Tap 2 for the Battlement. A Quirion to untap this one, but I think we'll just cast that down in response. Pinging them for 3. So I don't really want them to deploy more of their cards. I'd rather take them out of their hand with the Raven's Crime. Of course, they can just play the Forest and the Orochi Leaf Caller, which they do, but now we can take the Generous Ent, which is not bad. Another Raven. Play that. Attack for 2. Raven's Crime them, pinging them for 4. Then I got a Spinning Darkness that now eats 1 Raven's Crime, but we still have the other, and it doesn't eat our Eviscerator's Insight. So I can use that with no fear. They do have a Drift of Phantasms, which this only makes 2 mana. So they can get the Freed from the Real. This can't actually kill the Overgrown Battlement, which is annoying, but it can kill the Orochi Leaf Caller, which means that they'll have a finite amount of mana they can use. If they untap this, that's fine. They tap this for this, and I can just barely survive, I think, because I can kill the Leaf Caller. Just gonna ping them for 4, but they can turn 2 green into blue, but then that's all they can do before this will die, so they can untap a few times, but it should prevent them from going infinite, I believe. Also, oh, it just makes it so they can't tap for black either, so yeah. Doubly makes it so they can't go infinite. So they can untap it, tap, and activate Scholar once, which keeps them alive if I don't have anything, but I can play an Eviscerator's Insight, sacking one of our guys after we've attacked, so we should be good. It was a close one, though. I'm getting the Freed from the Real on the last turn there. Oh, plus we just draw a Snuff out, which is pretty nice. But we won't show them anything they haven't already seen. Attack for 3. Eviscerator's Insight, just not sacrificing the token or this. We can sack Raven, ping him for 1. Alright, that was kind of cool. I was worried at first, but it was slow enough that we ended up getting there. Unfortunately, we don't really have a sideboard. We already have a decent amount of removal main deck, but Arms is not great. Keep a Gang gets blocked too easily. It'd be decent the first time, maybe, but we don't even have really evasive creatures. Weather's bad. Masked Vandal's bad. I guess Heritage Reclamation can maybe get us there. It exiles a card from a graveyard, which can be decent. They do have some artifacts sometimes, and they have the Freed from the Real, so maybe that's not terrible. But like these Sword Masters get blocked really easily. In fact, so easily that I think it makes more sense to just have another Relic and Masked Vandals. Or maybe Arms of Hadar do make sense. It kills some things, and if we attack with like a a Black Mage's Rod first and it blocks, maybe it can be okay. Raven's Crime, but not a ton of black mana, but it's a little slow. Not sure this one will be great, but it seems okay. A Swamp would be a great first draw. So that would let us Raven's Crime twice before we play our Rot Farm. They Land Grant. Freed from the Real. Well, their hand's not amazing, but they do have a Winding Way. And our hand's not amazing either. They have 2 Winding Ways and Inner Sense and things. Plus they have a Battlement. Don't have a way to kill that, even if we draw Snuff out, because we don't have a Swamp. We do draw our Swamp, which is decent. Yeah, we just got to go with the card draw route, I believe. Swamp is good. They play a Winding Way. Hit a Land Grant. Lead the Stampede, just 1 Drift of Phantasms. That's pretty good. And a Scattershot Archer, which I'm not really worried about. I guess that's for the Ravens, but which did kill them, but they have to have 2 of these for it to really work well. Okay. I think I want to hit him with 2 Raven's Crimes this turn. So I guess we just play a Swamp. It's a little mana inefficient. I kind of have to, though. I guess I could just Raven. I could hit him with 1, or I could even just do none. Yeah, actually, I think I just play the Rot Farm this turn. Getting 1 card from their hand doesn't do too much, and this way I can actually hit them with at least 3 next turn, which could actually be decent. A Winding Way. That one hits 2 cards, but still not amazing. So really Caretaker and an Overgrown Battlement, and they play the Caretaker. Some removal would be good, as well as our hand disruption. Another Raven's Crime is almost what I was saying. Well, let's hit him with the Crime. Discard a Drift. I will play it again with a Garden. I don't want to play just all 3 of them, just in case they have like a Relic or some way to get rid of all of them. But we will play a Swamp and we'll hit them with the second one. We also want to make sure we have lands for next turn, right? They discard another Drift. Nothing to do with our green mana. Hit for 1. I mean, they have Freed from the Real. And if they have like an outlet, I guess they would need a Leaf Caller and an outlet. So it seems tough for them to go for it this turn, but we'll see. They have a Land Grant and a Lead the Stampede. They lead the Stampede, and they get 3. None of their card draws have been amazing, but 3 for 3 mana is not bad. And they play an Axebane Guardian. Arms of Hadar is not quite good enough as I expected. I can make them discard 2 cards. That's going to be everything but they're Freed from the Real, so they can go infinite, but don't have an outlet for it. But we might as well offering this Wellspring and see if we can draw Spinning Darkness. That's good. We have 3 cards in our graveyard now, including the Raven's Crime. We have a Raven's Crime still in hand, so we're not going to waste that, so that's good. So yes, we can shoot the Axebane Guardian. In fact, maybe I just wait. They have a time use safekeeping we saw, so it would be risky to wait for them to go for the Freed from the Real. But maybe we can draw it out. We also haven't played a land, and we actually got a Troll. So I can cycle the Troll for a Swamp. Play the Swamp. We still have 2. Let's do that. Play the Swamp. Raven's Crime them with the Colony Garden. Ping them for 1. Discard a Caretaker. We have a Raven's Crime that's not going to be eaten by the Spinning Darkness, so I actually think I just hit him with another and then save the Spinning Darkness. Because they either are going to draw an outlet and they're going to go for it, and then we have the answer, or they're not, and I can just save this for later. I guess if they get like a Drift of Phantasms, maybe it's too good. They just go for the Freed from the Real, and we're just going to shoot it in response and hope that they don't have the Tamiya safekeeping. But if they do, we still don't die because they don't have an outlet. That works. So we get the Axebane. Freed from the Real goes to the grave. I guess if they have a Reap in the graves, it could be decent too. Nope, they have the Scholar. They drew the outlet and obviously went for it, and luckily we had the answer. Black Mage's Rod. Here I think we map onto the Raven. We draw a swamp, which isn't bad. I think we just play 2 rods. I mean, if they... I don't know what they can draw that instantly wins them the game, but if they draw something really good, you know, good for them. But we'll swing for 1, and now we ping for a lot more. Axebane Guardian's a good draw from them, for sure. Extract a Confession. I can Arms of Hadar them first, and they lose this, and then Extract a Confession will make them sacrifice this. I'm pretty sure it'll still have the highest power, even if it's -1. That makes sense to me. Yeah, I guess I Arms of Hadar them first, drain for 3. Then I can attack with the team as well, because they can't block these without losing guys. They tap for a black, sure, because they want to activate the Scholar once with the Overgrown, which they do. We're going to attack with the team, hit him for 5, and yeah, I mean, the only way I can take their outlet is by doing this, so we'll Extract a Confession with this Spinning Darkness, and that should make them sack the Scholar. Ping them for 2, and they do. Nice. So they don't have an outlet, even if they top deck a Galvanic Alchemist, I think is their other infinite mana card. Lead the Stampede's a pretty good draw, though. Garbage, Shield Wall, and Generous Ent. I don't think that's going to do it, but we'll see. Maybe Shield Wall can get something, but they have to tap both of these, which is 6 mana. They have 2 left. Play the Shield Wall. They can get 3 with the Caretaker, but this can't directly search up the Galvanic Alchemist. Otherwise, it could make infinite mana and, yeah, do something. They just cast a Generous Ent. They don't even have mana to activate it, so all I need to do is be able to cast 2 spells, which a land for the Raven's Crime will do. So I'll Eviscerator's Insight, sack this, that'll ping them for 2, and then I can just Wellspring, or I could Raven's Crime from the grave, or whatever. Alright, and we got there against walls. Alright, this hand is not keepable. This one's better. I think we're going to get rid of a land. Ideally, it's not another match where we need a bunch of Raven's Crimes. Although, to be honest, I like that Raven's Crime... Raven's Crime is one of my favorite cards, and so I like that it is being used very effectively against these control and combo matches. They do preordain, so it could be some more High Tide, in which case I'll be sad I got rid of a land and sad that I just drew the Snuff out. But Contaminated Landscape makes me think Familiars. Colony Garden's not bad. We'll just play this guy in case we get in for some damage. If it's Familiars, then our removal will be good, but also our Raven's Crime will be good, so that could actually be a pretty good matchup for us. Cycle Alorian, that's what it's looking like to me. Seagate Oracle, alright. Familiars indeed. Raven's Crime, there it is. We can't attack. I could cast this down, but I think we want to save these for more important things, but while they're tapped out, I'm just going to draw my cards off this plant. Removal and card draw is not bad. We want to make sure to hit our land drops and also be able to Raven's Crime them, though, so lands would be nice. Cycle Alorian or an island, and just passing here, I suppose. Meeting of Minds, it could be. The fact that we have relics is pretty decent. Do want to hit my land drop, so it's kind of annoying if they counterspell us here. Probably a prohibit, that is. I think I will cast a relic and see what they do. I think I'll cast a relic and see what they do. I think they might want to counter that. They do with a prohibit. It looks like they're leaving up Ephemerate. But I really wanted to hit my land drops, so I'm okay with the relic getting countered. Ideally, we can draw another one, like right now. Perfect. So I'll play a swamp, and I'll play a relic. And if they go for an Ephemerate on this, I am going to counter it. Essentially counter it with a Snuff Out. Since we have 2 more cast downs, I can use those on other creatures, and I don't want them to get all the value. And they do go for it. So we're going to remind them of Snuff Out's existence. Of course, if they have Archaeomancer, I can't do anything about that with the relic because I don't have the mana up, and they're going to get the Ephemerate, and that's annoying for sure. They can use it right now, they can wait on it, but either way, now we can hold up relic and cast downs and stuff. And with that, We'll attack for 2, because if they want to block and ephemerate, that's fine. If they don't want to block, that's fine. And as much as I want to Raven's Crime them for a bunch, I think we have a couple more cards we need to get through, so we're just going to play it. We have a couple cast downs if we need. We have this Insight, and we have Relic up. They play a Seagate Oracle, swing for 1. We're going to crack this map. They have a negate for it. Okay, that's annoying, but I guess we'll cast down the Archaeomancer while they're tapped out. Black Mage's Rod. I'll cast that. I'm not going to Raven's Crime them, because 1 doesn't really matter, and I don't want it to get exiled by the Relic, so my goal right now is to use this Eviscerator's Insight before we crack the Relic, so as to not waste it. But they're going for an Ephemerate on the Oracle. I guess I try to cast that down, and they just have a counterspell, but it at least uses our mana here. They have a Snap on it. Okay, that's fine. At least the Ephemerate goes to the graveyard. They might just have another, play a Seagate Oracle, and leave up Ephemerate again. Archaeomancer. Okay, well that's annoying, because we're going to have to get rid of our Eviscerator's Insight, but I don't really want them to have access to this, so we are going to crack the Relic. Another Rod. Crypt Rats is not bad. Let's just play the Rod, though, and attack. Now I will Raven's Crime them for 1, because it also pings them for 2. And they only have 3 cards in hand, so getting rid of one of them is not irrelevant. And also Crypt Rats, if we get them low enough, can be a win con. They do discard a Meeting of Minds. There's a Familiar, and an Oracle, which we knew about. And a Snap a Token, pretty annoying. And a Meeting of Minds. That is annoying. Down to 1 card, though. You get a Bajuka Bog. I mean, that's a pretty good land to play, but I think I like taking their card away. So I'm going to put this on this guy. Raven's Crime them for 1. Ping them for 2. It's a Prohibit, that's not bad. And I'm going to swing with my 3-1 if they want to trade, which I think they do. That's fine for me. I can just equip this to this guy next turn and keep attacking. We'll pass. I just need him to not draw like a Muldrifter or an Archaeomancer or something really good. But they keep doing that. Yeah, they get their Meeting of Minds. Play it again. Godfair is Faithful. Well, that's annoying for this hero token. And a Preordain. Maybe I should have played the Bajuka Bog. Another Rod. Well, I guess we're equipping this up. And then playing another. Pinging them for 2. Can't really attack, though, because they have an 0-4. They have another 0-4. More card draw. They're drawing incredibly. I wish we would draw this well. And a Familiar. I mean, if we draw a land, I can Crypt Rats everything but the Faithfuls. If we draw an untapped swamp, that is. Extract a Confession. Eats an Archaeomancer? No, it doesn't, because we don't even have enough to extract. Well, I guess we're going to equip this over here. I'm going to extract a Confession. They can sack whatever they'd like, but we do ping them for 3. And then we can attack with the hero token, with which I guess they have to trade an Archaeomancer. Then I can't re-equip. I actually think it's probably better to not attack. Maybe I shouldn't have even re-equipped. Because if I attack, we lose all of these, and I have to spend like 2 turns re-equipping, and then that turn, they can do a lot more, but we're not drawing card draw, and they are, so it's pretty tough for us to get a win here, I think, at the moment. And they have another Muldrifter. If we just draw some card draw and some lands, Golgari Rot Farm's not bad, because that lets us play our Crypt Rats and then use it next turn. I guess maybe if I just played it a couple turns ago, I have 4 mana, so maybe I should have just done that, but whatever. We're playing the Crypt Rats now. We're going to Rot Farm back a Colony Garden. This is 5 mana. I don't really need this Gardens, so I guess I'll drain them for 3 and make them discard a card. Although maybe I should have just held up 2 mana on the Crypt Rats to wipe away the Muldrifters and the Archaeomancers. That actually might have been smarter, because then they couldn't Ephemerate any of them, or snap any of them, or Ghostly Flicker. Remembering Mystic's pretty good. Then they have a Preordain. Try one to the top, and they find an Ephemerate. But to be honest, even if I wipe these away, I think the only way I'm winning this is if I get the Crypt Rats off to wipe everything, but they get back a Lorien here, so they can cast. But then they're tapped out. I feel like they should have gotten a snap for this Crypt Rats, right? Because if I just wipe their whole board, I'm not in that bad of a spot. And their Ephemerate stays in exile. I mean, they have 3 new cards, but I don't know. Feels decent to me. Also, then we Relic. Well, I can't Relic and crack the Relic and then Crypt Rats for 5. I could do it for 4, but then they have a Mystic and that's going to kill us. So I'm going to have to hope they can't get stuff back from the graveyard, but we're going to play the Relic first to ping them for 3, and we're going to Crypt Rats for 5. I mean, we have to draw something, but they're, I don't know, seemed pretty good to me. This Ephemerate stays in exile. We also have a Relic as an extra card and a way to wipe everything away. Ideally, they don't have another Archaeomancer. Oh, okay, it's a Murmuring Mystic. That's pretty good, too. And then a Muldrifter. We get a Wellspring. Play that. Raven is not bad, because it can hold these rods, and it can also ping them for 1 here. The question is, do I just want to crack the Relic? Because if they play like a Mortuary Mire and I crack in response and then they have a Ghostly Flicker, it's kind of annoying. But I also kind of want to hold the Relic for the Raven. I'm going to hold it, but I don't know if it's going to end up biting us. Oh, look, there's the Mortuary Mire. For an Archaeomancer, we're immediately going to crack that. Let's see if they have the Ghostly Flicker in response. They don't. That's good. We get a Troll of Khazad Doom. Godfair is Faithful. They're going to swing with the Muldrifter and the Murmuring Mystic. I can't imagine they have any way to pump this or deal a single damage, so I'll just block here. Unless they have a Gut Shot I don't know about. I think we're fine. They have a Ghostly Flicker. Maybe they didn't want to use it on the Mire. Maybe they drew it for turn. But they Muldrifter for more cards. You get a Smitten Swordmaster. That doesn't really do anything. So I could equip this up. I could play a 2-1. None of that seems very good, so I guess we're just casting a 6-5. Which can easily get counterspelled or snapped, but what are you going to do? They play a Chancery, bounce the Mire. There's the snap. There's Alorian revealed. Meeting of Minds. Preordain. Really digging. / just trying to make a bunch of birds. Another Faithful. Swing with the bird and a Muldrifter. I feel like they're just throwing the bird away, but I'll take it. Colony Garden. I mean, I don't see a way to actually defeat them in damage anymore. So I could equip up 2 of these, and then the Curry Favor could be relevant, but I don't see that actually coming up, so I think we're just playing a Troll, playing a Colony Garden, in case we get some card draw and actually can draw something good. They have a Seagate Oracle. I know they generally have a way to not mill out with the Mortuary Mire, putting back an Archaeomancer and a Ghostly Flicker, I think. They have the Ghostly Flicker in the grave, and they have the Mire in hand, but they've already lost 2 Archaeomancers? 3. I don't think they're going to have another, so I guess they probably won't mill out. They'll probably have just killed us by then, to be fair. Just when I see 4 cards in library, I'm like, ooh, they're getting down to it. They do only attack with a couple, though, because they're worried about the crackback. Get a Wellspring. Still don't see any reason to spend 3 mana putting a Rod on one of these guys, so I'm just going to play the Wellspring. They have a negate for it. We're going to swing with the Troll. Block with 3 creatures. I'm going to eat. I guess we'll play a Smitten Swordmaster. And I guess since we have the mana, we might as well equip it up, the Lifelinker, with one of these. Play a Mortuary Mire, get back an Oracle. Swing with a Muldrifter and a bird. We will block a bird. They have that last snap targeting their Muldrifter. Cast Drifter again. Sunscape Familiar. Seagate Oracle. Another Familiar. Past us, we get a Swamp. I mean, I guess we just try to gain as much life off of this guy as possible. Like, I don't know if they have something. They only have 1 card left in library. Again, I know there's a way they can prevent themselves from milling out, but I'm not sure it's possible now. But they haven't made anywhere near as many birds as I feared, so I guess we'll just see if we can survive. They just take it, understandably. We do go up to 10, though, so I guess we'll pass. And they concede. I think if they had attacked with more birds, they were worried that if they didn't block the Troll, and then they went down to like 3 or 5, that I'd be able to burn them out, which is possible. But if they were attacking with more birds earlier, I don't think we would have survived that. But not sure we really should have won that one. And apparently they conceded the whole match. So, okay. All right, last round here. And looks solid enough. Pretty happy with how this deck's been doing. I will say the Black Mage's Rod carries a little bit more than the Raven, but the Raven's been not bad in some at some points. The life gain's relevant, the flying's relevant, especially because it can carry a Rod and attack for more damage in the late game. They're on Tron, so let me just get down a Raven, start doing a little bit of damage while I can, and just play a Tower looking to crack the Candy Trail. Get a Sword Master. As always, we have this struggle of, do we just go for more aggro or do we go for more cards? I think we're going to go for the aggro and then cards next time. Yeah, just kind of split the difference. Also, I'm going to play the swamp here, even though I could get the garden down. You want as much black mana as possible for a Raven's Crime, so I'm actually going to cycle the troll for another swamp here so that if we draw it, we can actually use it a couple of times and discard the garden to it. They do Candy Trail, but they miss on their Tron. Thank goodness they don't get natural Tron on turn 3. Conduit Pylon's a Mirror Smith, a Kinsmith away, and a Candy Trail again. Scry both to the bottom, and Mirror Retriever. I was worried about that because that's pretty annoying. It gets in the way of our Smith, but I don't really want to snuff it out. We're just going to get a swamp here, although I'm not sure what else we're going to be snuffing out in the deck. We can play another Raven, and then we can attack for a bunch. So yeah, I guess we actually are. Play a Raven, snuff out, get a couple pings. Of course, they get to buy back their Candy Trail or their Kinsmith. Probably the Trail. Indeed. Then we get to attack for 3. Leave up our Insight. Play the Candy Trail again. Looking for that Tron. Scry both to the bottom again and crack the Candy Trail. And they don't draw land. Pretty good for us, I will say. Crack this plant. Spinning Darkness, kind of irrelevant. Witch's Cottage is a land. It can get us a troll. Cast Down, not amazing either. So yeah, play Witch's Cottage, put Troll on top. Swing and pass. Got a decent clock. We have some interaction, and they're slow, so we're in a good spot, but not incredible. They just have more Candy Trails. Sweet Tooth. That is setting us back, to be fair. 3 life is most of our attack. They scry 2 to the top this time, so they have to have found a mine, I assume. Indeed. And play a Wellspring. Question is, do I want to waste all this mana, or do I want to Eviscerator's Insight some of our clock? I think we kind of have to at this point. I think we're going to get rid of a Raven so that we keep up some aggro. Rot Farm and the Troll we knew about, and a Relic is not bad. Makes me wish I had the Raven still. Attack for 3. Can't get the Troll down no matter what this turn, so we're just going to play a Relic. Hang him with it. Play the Rot Farm. Pick up a Garden. Maybe I could have just picked up the Witch's Cottage so I can get back a Raven again. I don't know. What are you going to do? If we get a Raven's Crime, we can take a bunch of cards from their hand. That's something. There's an Ashnod's Altar. There's a Refractor. Play a Mine. Blood Fountain. They're going to pass. Alright. We get a Swamp. Attack for 3. And I don't really have anything to do other than play a Troll. Hold up the Relic. And potentially a Spinning Darkness. Which I guess since we played the Troll, I actually can't hold up the Spinning Darkness anymore. Well, what are you going to do? End step, they're going to Eviscerator's Insight the Wellspring. Pretty good. Blood Fountain's annoying because if they have 2 Mirror Retrievers in their graveyard trying to pick one of them up, and we Relic away them, then they can just Blood Fountain in response. Pact Terror would be nice to have a cast down up for. Not having the cast down up could cost us the game here, potentially. Though I don't know if they have enough mana for everything they would need. Mirror Retriever, they get the mana back though. Blood Fountain, I don't think so. There's the Retriever. They sack it to get the other Retriever, and that's going to go for the loop, but now I can Relic, and they can Blood Fountain them both back to hand, but then they actually should be a mana short from playing them again. Which means they'd have to wait a turn, and I can cast down the Pactol, I think. They played a land, so I guess if they have like a 1-mana creature that they could sack to the Ashnod's Altar, or they can sack the Pactol, but then they don't have an outlet for it. They go infinite. Yeah, I don't know. Candy Trail pings us again. I guess we can kill the Pactol, but it doesn't actually matter because they can get it back with the Retriever. But if I wait until they've sacrificed 1 Retriever, then they'd have to have a 3rd Retriever, I think. I don't know, this is complicated stuff, but we're going to play a Raven, attack for 7. Can't swing with this guy. I guess I might as well play this Colony Garden. But if they have 3 Retrievers, we're dead anyway. But I think it's possible I could still stop it once they sack this first one. I guess there's no reason to sack the first one. That's fine. They sack a Candy Trail. Sure. Then they sack the Retriever to get back the Candy Trail. Play a Candy Trail. I don't know. I think if I cast this down, it's our best shot of stopping them. But they have a million ways, a million cards they could draw that would still work. Because now they sack this Retriever, they can get back the Pact Altera, but they need another Retriever to be able to pick up the other Retriever and keep the loop going, I believe. They do scry one to the top, so maybe it's just right there. Golem Foundry. Well, I guess Golem Foundry with Mirrored Retrievers is infinite golems, which means I can only attack for 2 in the air. And I'm going to surmise that I probably can't win the game off of that. So we will give it to them. Although, theoretically, if I draw like a card draw into enough lands and a Raven and a Raven's Crime, we can like maybe get there, but we will not do that. Okay, Okiba Gang Shinobi seems decent. Vandals and Heritages are good, and Relic's good. Spinning Darkness seems useless. Snuff Out seems useless, but Cast Downs are decent. Extract doesn't seem very good either. These Sword Masters are very bad here. And that's everything we need, I guess. 1 land is terrible. This is still 1 land, so not gonna cut it. I guess this one's a keep, even though it's pretty dang bad. I don't think Cast Down or the Raven's Crime is what we need. Guess I will just play one of these, take a card from them early. Ideally, we'll draw an Ichor Wellspring. They discard a Pact Altera. Candy Trail. Scry 1 to the top. Witch's Cottage. I guess we'll just play a tap land and pass. Prophetic Prism. Fanatical Offering. If we hadn't mulliganed to 5 and a pretty bad hand at that, and they mulliganed to 6 but just had natural Tron with a Golem Foundry and a Mirror Kinsmith. So that's looking bad for us. Fanatical Offering. Well, I'm sorry to have a very anticlimactic game, but there's no way we're going to come back from this already, I don't think. They just chain these, they have a pretty fast clock, and even if we get like our Masked Vandals and stuff, we don't have green sources, so that sucked. Well, that was a very frustrating last match. But if you ignore that, I think the deck played pretty decently. Black Mage's Rod and just kind of a Garden Shell is pretty decent, but honestly, I like the Ravens. I always like Raven's Crime. And also, Relic of Progenitus hits so many decks that I don't think it's a card you should just main deck for no reason, but I like a deck that can use it in the main deck, like with the Raven of Fell Omens. Seems pretty cool. So I honestly kind of like this. I don't love the Smitten Swordmaster. It didn't work out quite like I hoped. Ideally, it was going to be a black mana to ping them for a couple with the Black Mage's Rod, and then a 2/1 that was relevant. So I think I'd switch these out for something a little bit better. But overall, I like the deck pretty well, and I'm glad that I'm finding a deck that Raven is decent in, because I did okay with it in the last video that I played it, but I also was very early in playing on MTGO, and so I think I was at a much lower rating, and so the fact that I was still able to get a 3-2 with it is pretty cool. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons, including my $10 patrons, Howard Granger, La Ars, and JMW. I really appreciate all the support, and I will see you all next time.